currently looming ranked number 113, has a lot to prove as the first seed. And Deltaforce, I mean, such a good gatekeeper, consistently on the PR, but you know, he's still vying for a spot, especially this season with so many strong opponents. So Pharaoh gonna be a very, very good win if he gets it, but of course Pharaoh not gonna back down without a fight.
Absolutely, Jellyfish. Going into this specific matchup, how do you feel about seeing the Yoshi versus the Link?
Well, thankfully I play Young Link myself, so it's like this matchup can be very 50-50. Link is just a very, very strong character. Slow on the air for sure, but packs a punch when you get hit. A lot of the double jump armor Loki gets invalidated by...
Alrighty, yeah, so we're coming back into a little bit of neutral, and you can see already Deltaforce trying to use some of his Z-drop Nair combos. A lot of up airs coming out from Pharaoh. Not going to be enough for the stock just yet. However, coming right back to the center of the platform, a little bit more Nairs. The egg play coming out from Pharaoh, finding himself off stage as he's able to shield underneath this upper platform. Another egg lay and not able to get the up smash. However, a whole lot of these Nairs and the bomb actually going to be extending that for Deltaforce. Got Pharaoh off stage yet again. Pharaoh, bomb in hand, not going to be able to do anything with it just yet. Off stage again. Deltaforce looking for this F tilt or some sort of edge guard against Pharaoh. Going to get into the grab. Not enough to take the stock. Pharaoh coming right back over Deltaforce, shielding in place. And that is actually going to be the stock going to Deltaforce. First stock of the game. Oh, okay. Yeah, so coming straight back into neutral, we are getting out a fair from Pharaoh, going to be sending Deltaforce off stage. The hero spin going to help him to recover. Rapid jab coming out from Deltaforce as well. Back to the center of the stage, and it will be up air from Pharaoh, going to be taking another stock. Alrighty, and as we reset the egg lay into the down air and the up airs, putting some pretty decent damage in order to make back the damage that Deltaforce was able to take previously. Now the Nair is coming out and instead going to be contested by Deltaforce. Going to get the grab. Very nice. And then the hero spin is going to take another stock for Deltaforce. He is leading this game so far. Alrighty, more Nairs coming out from Deltaforce, going back to the center of the stage. The up air not going to be able to take the stock, and the Nair coming out from Pharaoh. The bomb is going to interrupt his rampage. However, another bomb coming out from Deltaforce, getting this grab and able to send Pharaoh off stage. Going to be able to get this up tilt into the up air, and that is going to be the stock for Pharaoh instead. Alright, down air. Pharaoh really trying to prolong this damage. However, Deltaforce going to try to make this back. Coming in with the Nair into the hero spin instead. That's not the stock just yet. Coming back in from off stage, trying to use the egg lay to his advantage. The arrow coming out from Deltaforce, trying to look for this dare, and that is going to be game number 1, going to Deltaforce over Pharaoh. Alrighty, getting settled right back. This is a best of 5 set, actually, since we are now in top 8. But, yeah, I mean, very dominant game, number 1, from Pharaoh, going to get us started. Or not Pharaoh, rather, from Deltaforce, getting us started. And, looks like we are coming back, and we do see a green Yoshi switch, actually. Alrighty, it looks as though Pharaoh is trying to maybe channel some of his patience, some of his inner zen. But getting us started, I love the use of the boomerang in order to extend these combos from Deltaforce. Really getting a whole lot. I'm going to be able to get the hero spin from the ledge. And then you could see, oh, I love that Pharaoh was able to run away before he got the down tilt in order to try to get some of this damage. The Nair out of shield, going to be sending Deltaforce off stage, and the Fair going to come straight over the hero spin in order to take the first stock. Alrighty, this green Yoshi seems to be proving a pretty good switch for Pharaoh, as he really seems to have harped in on a whole lot of Deltaforce's habits, catching an up air over the hero spin Deltaforce still able to reset the fair coming out, not able to get the stock just yet. But now Pharaoh is in disadvantage versus Deltaforce, trying to get these nairs over the egg lay, and instead going to be sitting in shield, not going to, but is going to get the stock instead. That is Deltaforce trying to bring this game back to even. Alright, the nair with the bomb over the hero spin, coming straight under this upper platform. The up airs coming out from Deltaforce, trying to rack on a little bit of damage. Now getting Pharaoh off stage. He has the potential for a big edge guard, not getting the F tilt. But on the other side of the stage, he is going to try to go for some of these empty hop nairs. Pharaoh not able to get the up tilt like he wanted, but going to go for the egg lay yet again. The fair into the up air is going to take the stock for Pharaoh. Alrighty, as we are getting restarted yet again, any extra damage that Pharaoh can rack up is going to be to his advantage, and 52% on Deltaforce is already pretty significant. The hero spin, though, is going to take a stock pretty quickly for Deltaforce, but he really cannot afford to take too much more damage before he is able to close out this stock if he wants to win the game. Coming back to neutral, a lot of up airs coming out from Deltaforce as he's able to put on some even amount of damage between himself and Pharaoh. Pharaoh off stage now, the boomerang going over his head as Deltaforce is trying to extend his combos, getting it on stage, the egg lay from Pharaoh, going back to the center of the stage now, sitting in shield, and actually it's going to be Deltaforce who's able to contest the nair from Pharaoh. Pharaoh coming back to stage with the nair, yet again the boomerangs coming out from Deltaforce in succession, the bomb into the boomerang, able to put some damage onto Pharaoh, but at a pretty high percentage, especially off stage. Pharaoh needs to be really careful in this spot. Deltaforce trying to find any advantage that he can, and the egg lays trying to interrupt Deltaforce's damage. Coming back underneath this upper platform, going to sit in shield, and at full rage on the board, Pharaoh has the potential to do something big if he wants to take this game. Going to get sent into the grab off stage yet again, not going to be able to follow up with the damage with the bomb, not getting the up smash for Pharaoh, but instead that is going to be game number 2, going to Deltaforce. Alright, in such a nail-biter fashion from the very beginning, from the fact that Pharaoh took the very first stock, it looked almost as though Deltaforce was going to be losing that game, but instead he was able to hold his own, stay patient, and take another game. So he seems to be putting himself pretty far into the lead. Alright, since we are playing best of 5, Pharaoh thankfully will have another opportunity in order to bring this set back into his favor. However, Deltaforce just has one more game he needs to win if he wants to take this set. Alright, getting started pretty quickly, the hero spin coming out from Deltaforce as it seems to be Pharaoh trying to get a little bit of the damage from the down tilt, the nair coming out, and instead going to be able to put some more damage on the board. Able to contest Deltaforce's nair, however, it looks like Pharaoh is sort of ferrying in place and not able to get any damage off of it, instead finding himself off stage. The nairs coming out from Deltaforce, sending him right back, and but instead going to be able to get the hero spin from the center of the stage. Not enough to take the stock just yet, however, going to be sitting in the egg for a little bit. Deltaforce finding himself pretty high above, trying to land with the dare in order to contest some of Pharaoh's movement, rather. Off stage yet again, and the fair, of course, coming out from Pharaoh, going to be taking the very first stock of this game. Alright, big up airs coming out from Deltaforce, but not enough to take the stock just yet. The arrow coming out, a big grab, lots of pummels instead, at very high percentage as well. The nair actually is going to be what does it for Deltaforce at such a high percent that makes sense. Alright, the down air into the up air, getting a little bit of damage for himself, but Pharaoh, however, finding himself in disadvantage and just getting straight grabbed. And then hero spin coming out from Deltaforce yet again, twice in a row, able to put some more damage onto Pharaoh. Pharaoh coming underneath this upper platform, not able to get the nair out of shield against Deltaforce, but able to get it the second and the third time instead. Down tilt into the up air, not going to be able to make a whole lot off of it just yet. But as Pharaoh finds himself off stage, he goes for the neutral getup instead, And yet again, thanks to Deltaforce being able to catch the egg spin. And now that was enough to take the stock. A rapid jab from Deltaforce, able to bring this game back to another lead for him. All right, Nair off stage from Pharaoh is actually going to be enough to take the stock. It looked as though Deltaforce didn't seem to have a jump. But coming right back to the center of the stage, bringing us right back to even, we do have a whole lot that needs to happen in order for Pharaoh to be able to take this game. But he seems to be trying to do that as best he can. The Fair coming out, sending Deltaforce off stage. The hero spin still able to get right back, and then Deltaforce opting to use some of these boomerangs in order to interrupt the combos coming out from Pharaoh. Pharaoh sitting on the upper platform, going for the egg spin and getting the nair, but instead Deltaforce going to be sending him right off stage. The F tilts coming out from Deltaforce, not able to get the nair, and then it is actually going to be the Yoshi F smash to take game number 3. Pharaoh putting himself on the board, putting himself on the map. He is determined to bring this set back around to his favor. Alrighty, so from the very get-go, it did look as though that set was going to be pretty Deltaforce favored due to the fact that he was winning from the beginning. However, I mean, despite that, you really did see a whole lot of adaptation being made from Pharaoh. I think he has finally started to find his patience, but going into game number 4, that is all going to be put to the test. Alrighty, getting us started, we do have the hero spin from the center of the stage. A whole lot of nairs coming out from Deltaforce, trying to keep Pharaoh at bay and get a lot of his combos started, especially with the Z drop. The F tilt is going to get interrupted instead by the egg lay from Pharaoh as he's trying to off stage yet again thanks to the hero spin. Another Z drop combo with the bomb, going to try to trip up his recovery, instead making it back to stage and going to be finding himself off stage yet again, trying to go for these down airs. Another egg lay coming out from Pharaoh, finding himself at a pretty high percentage already against Deltaforce. Deltaforce sort of empty hopping in place in order to try to get this started. Going for the up tilt, and then the up air is actually going to be connecting a pretty decent string of them. Not enough to take the stock just yet, but the up air able to contest the staleness of Deltaforce's down air. Able to put a pretty decent amount of damage on him, not getting the up smash, but it is going to be the Yoshi down B that takes that first stock of the game. Hero spin coming out from Deltaforce at the center of the stage as he is air dodging away and then still falls straight into the trap from Deltaforce. Deltaforce taking a stock in pretty quick succession from Pharaoh. Back to the center of the stage, the up tilt into the up airs coming out for Pharaoh. Not able to make a whole lot off of it just yet, but you can see both of these characters sort of nairing in place. The up air going to be contesting Deltaforce's nair, putting a good amount of damage onto him, but it seems to be that Deltaforce seems determined to make this damage back. The fair coming out from Pharaoh instead, waiting in shield for a bit and then just waiting just long enough in order for the boomerang to pass from Deltaforce. Off stage now, bomb coming out from Deltaforce as he's got the F tilt and then getting the grab over the nair actually from Pharaoh. Coming straight back into the center of the stage, it's going to be Pharaoh's nair that actually contests Deltaforce's nair as he waited just a little bit too long in order to try to go for his own nair. The rapid jab going to be sending him off stage, and that will be Deltaforce's stock thanks to the F tilt. Alright, up airs coming out from Pharaoh. Not going to be enough to take the stock just yet, however, it will be yet another Yoshi down B that takes that stock. That's the second time that we've seen him get a stock from that just in this game. Alright.
Okay, guys, I'm back. I don't know what happened, but I'm here.
Alright, would you like to talk for a bit?
Sure, of course. Yeah, no, thank you for holding it down. I wasn't able to see too much of this, but hey, we're on last stock. Pharaoh versus Deltaforce, of course. We're seeing Pharaoh actually playing the air a lot against Deltaforce, trying to like maneuver around all these different projectiles. There's the double jump gone. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this set, a lot of moves that Link has just breaks that double jump armor, gets into the F tilt. What's the ledge trap gonna be? Doesn't get it. Gets the dash grab. And an amazing air dodge to get back on the stage. Deltaforce in prime position to take the set, and he does with the up B out of shield. Deltaforce with a very strong 3-1 win over Pharaoh. And I'm not gonna lie, with the scoreboard, it makes sense. Deltaforce is playing very, very well against Pharaoh.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a beautiful placement, as you said, of the hero spin at the center of the stage, able to take that final stock. So, from what I observed during their previous games, even the game that Pharaoh won, it seemed to be that Deltaforce held on to the lead for the longest. Pharaoh was just able to take some quicker stocks against Deltaforce in that specific game. However, it seemed that a whole lot of the stocks that were going to Pharaoh, or rather, seemed to be just things that he was able to get from a whole lot of his confirms, as you saw. But he got one fair spike, I believe. Deltaforce,
Yes,
it
I think we
seems.
did see it in the replay early on, but
Mhm.
even so, that just shows kind of the defensive capabilities that Deltaforce brings to the table against a very oppressive, Yoshi that Pharaoh tends to have. Honestly, there you go. There's another forward air spike that we saw. But yeah, I mean, it just seems like it can be a tough matchup. I tend to go back to it, but just like the strong moves that Link has really do kind of just stop a lot of different approaches. The moment you don't give Yoshi the ability to really go for their combos, get setups with like up tilt, or even get his cheeky little nairs to Gimp, it tends to be very difficult for a character like Yoshi to really win against a character that has long ranged moves like Link. Sure, you'll have like a back air drag down into forward smash or even a down smash from here, but it can be difficult to hit, especially if Deltaforce is so defensively sound and not really allowing a lot of opportunities and being very frugal with the projectiles he throws out.
Yeah, I think that Deltaforce as a Link is a very good Link example because he's really good at being able to use his boomerang, for instance, in order to extend his combos, or in case someone like Pharaoh overextends a lot. Like, for instance, if he doesn't get the right hit of an up tilt, then Deltaforce is able to just send out the boomerang in order. Oh, okay, that's a nice picture.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's my camera right now. Actually, that's my laptop in general. My Wi-Fi cut off, so I was very sad about that. Not to
That's
be able to see
unfortunate.
a very hype set to start off this top 8.